Muscle cars aren't just vehicles. They're a symbol of raw American power, speed, and attitude. These machines have been turning heads and burning rubber for decades, capturing the hearts of car enthusiasts worldwide. But which muscle cars stand above the rest? Today, we'll break down the 10 best muscle cars of all time, covering their history, performance, and why they remain legendary. Buckle up, because this is going to be one wild ride. 1964 Pontiac GTO, the car that started it all. The Pontiac GTO is often called the first true muscle car, setting the stage for the high-performance era that followed. Before the GTO, American cars prioritized luxury over speed. But Pontiac engineers had a different vision. Take a lightweight midsize car and stuff a massive 389 cubic inch V8 under the hood. The result? A machine that cranked out 325 horsepower and could hit 60 miles per hour in just over 6 seconds, an impressive feat for 1964. What made the GTO special was that it wasn't built as a factory experiment. It was a car that everyday drivers could buy and enjoy. It came with an optional tri-power carburetor setup, pushing its horsepower up to 348, making it even faster. The aggressive styling, hood scoops, and rumbling exhaust notes cemented its reputation as a muscle car legend. Sales went through the roof, with over 32,000 units sold in the first year, far beyond what Pontiac expected. It proved that Americans wanted fast, loud, and powerful cars at an affordable price. The GTO didn't just start the muscle car era, it defined it. 1969 Dodge Charger R/T, the ultimate street warrior. The 1969 Dodge Charger R/T is arguably the most iconic muscle car of all time. With its long, sleek body, hidden headlights, and aggressive stance, the Charger became a symbol of power and rebellion. But what truly made it legendary was what lurked under the hood. A 426 Hemi V8 pushing out 425 horsepower and capable of quarter-mile runs in just over 13 seconds. The Charger R/T, road/track, wasn't just about straight-line speed. Dodge engineers gave it a performance-tuned suspension, improving handling for both drag racing and highway cruising. The distinctive split grille and fastback roofline gave it an unmistakable presence on the road, turning heads wherever it went. Hollywood played a huge role in cementing the Charger's legendary status. It was the car of choice in movies like Bullitt, where Steve McQueen chased one down the streets of San Francisco, and it became an icon in The Dukes of Hazzard as the General Lee. Fast forward to today, and it's still the go-to muscle car for anyone looking for classic American power. If you ever see a 69 Charger R/T on the streets, be prepared. It doesn't just look fast, it demands respect. 1970 Chevrolet SS 454, the muscle car apex. The 1970 Chevrolet SS 454 wasn't just a muscle car, it was a statement. Equipped with the monstrous LS 454 cubic inch V8, this beast pumped out an astonishing 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, making it the most powerful muscle car of its time. The Chevrolet SS 454 was a street terror, capable of hitting 0 to 60 in just 5.4 seconds and dominating drag strips across America. But it wasn't just about speed. It had the aggressive styling to match. The cowl induction hood, dual racing stripes, and wide stance made it one of the meanest-looking muscle cars ever built. One of the most interesting things about the LS6 engine is that Chevrolet underrated its power figures. Many believe it actually made closer to 500-plus horsepower, making it a true heavyweight champion of the muscle car world. Collectors today consider the 1970 Chevrolet SS 454 one of the greatest muscle cars ever made. And with only 4,475 L-listed 6 models ever built, it remains a highly sought-after piece of American automotive history. If you ever get the chance to drive one, you'll feel what pure, unfiltered muscle is all about. Are you a muscle car? Because every time I see you, my heart races. 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda, the rarest of the rare. The 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda isn't just a muscle car, it's an automotive unicorn. With only around 100 units ever built, this machine is one of the rarest and most valuable muscle cars in history. But beyond its rarity, the Cuda was an absolute monster on the streets. Under the hood, it packed the legendary 426 Hemi V8, producing 425 horsepower. But what made the Cuda truly terrifying was its lightweight body and shaker hood scoop, which allowed it to devour quarter miles in the low 13-second range. Styling-wise, the Cuda was one of the most aggressive muscle cars ever made. With bold colors like Plum Crazy and Lemon Twist, massive hood scoops, and racing stripes, it looked as fast as it was. The Cuda wasn't just built for speed, it was built to make a statement. Today, a 1971 Hemi Cuda in mint condition can sell for millions of dollars, making it one of the most expensive muscle cars on the planet. If you see one, count yourself lucky. You're looking at a legendary beast that few will ever own. 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT 500, the snake that bites. No list of muscle cars is complete without the 1967 Shelby GT 500, a car born from the vision of Carroll Shelby, one of the greatest automotive minds in history. Shelby took the standard Mustang, injected it with steroids, and gave birth to a true performance machine. Under the hood, the GT 500 packed a 428 cubic inch police interceptor V8, producing 360-plus horsepower. But Shelby didn't just focus on raw power. He refined the Mustang's suspension, aerodynamics, and braking system, creating a well-balanced, high-performance muscle car. The Shelby GT 500 wasn't just fast, it was ferocious. It could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.5 seconds, which was blistering for its time. But what really made the GT 500 iconic was its unmistakable styling. The dual racing stripes, aggressive front grille, and signature side scoops gave it a look that screamed pure American muscle. This Mustang also became a pop culture icon, especially after being featured as Eleanor in Gone in 60 Seconds. Today, the 1967 Shelby GT 500 is one of the most sought-after Mustangs, with prices soaring into six figures. If you ever hear that deep, throaty exhaust note, you'll know it's the sound of muscle car history. 1970 Dodge Challenger R/T, the rebel with a Hemi. When Dodge introduced the 1970 Challenger R/T, they weren't just entering the muscle car wars, they were declaring war. Built to compete with the Mustang and Camaro, the Challenger had one advantage over the competition: brutal power. The R/T, road/track, model came with multiple engine options, but the king of the lineup was the 426 Hemi V8, cranking out 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. With a 0 to 60 of time of around 5.8 seconds, this beast was built for straight-line domination. However, Dodge didn't just focus on speed. They gave the Challenger one of the best-looking muscle car designs ever, featuring a long, wide stance, a bold front grille, and a shaker hood scoop that looked like it was ready to eat the road alive. What set the Challenger apart was its attitude. It wasn't just about performance, it was about presence. Whether it was painted in wild, high-impact colors like Plum Crazy or Hemi Orange, the Challenger R/T stood out. It even became an instant Hollywood icon, starring in the legendary car chase movie Vanishing Point. Today, the 70 Challenger R/T remains one of the most desirable muscle cars. And if you're lucky enough to own one with a Hemi under the hood, you're sitting on a piece of muscle car royalty. Are you a 426 DMI? Because you've got my heart racing out of control. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, the ultimate sleeper. The 1969 Camaro ZL1 is a muscle car so rare and powerful that it almost feels like a myth. Chevy built it under the COPO, Central Office Production Order, program, a system designed to create special high-performance cars that weren't available to the general public. What made the ZL1 legendary was its all-aluminum 427 cubic inch big block V8, which officially produced 430 horsepower, though in reality, it was closer to 500 horsepower. This lightweight engine made the ZL1 one of the fastest muscle cars ever built, capable of quarter-mile runs in the low 11-second range with minor tuning. The ZL1 looked almost identical to a standard Camaro SS, making it the ultimate sleeper car, a vehicle that looked unassuming but could demolish anything at the drag strip. Chevy only made 69 units, making it one of the rarest and most valuable muscle cars ever produced. If you ever come across a 1969 Camaro ZL1, consider yourself in the presence of greatness. It's a car built for one purpose, to destroy the competition, and it did that better than almost any muscle car in history. 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1, the underdog that shocked the world. When people think of muscle cars, Buick isn't usually the first name that comes to mind. But in 1970, they dropped a bomb on the muscle car world with the Buick GSX Stage 1, a car that could outrun almost anything on the streets. Powered by a 455 cubic inch V8, the Stage 1 package increased its output to 360 horsepower and a mind-blowing 510 pound-feet of torque, the highest torque figure of any American muscle car at the time. Despite Buick's reputation for making luxury cars, the GSX was built for speed, and it proved itself with quarter-mile times in the low 13s. The GSX wasn't just fast, it was bold. It came in only two colors, Apollo White and Saturn Yellow, both featuring black racing stripes, a front chin spoiler, and a massive rear wing. It was a muscle car that demanded attention. Unfortunately, the GSX Stage 1 was overshadowed by bigger names like the Chevelle SS and Hemi Cuda, but real muscle car enthusiasts know this was one of the greatest sleepers ever built. If you're looking for an underdog story, the Buick GSX Stage 1 is the ultimate dark horse. 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner, the budget muscle beast. When the muscle car wars started heating up, many manufacturers focused on adding luxury features and jacking up prices. Plymouth, however, went the opposite route. They built the Roadrunner, a car that was all about power, speed, and affordability. The 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner came with a 383 cubic inch V8, producing 335 horsepower. And if that wasn't enough, you could upgrade to the legendary 426 DMI, pushing out 425 horsepower and making it one of the fastest cars on the road. What made the Roadrunner special was its no-frills approach to performance. It didn't come with fancy interiors, unnecessary chrome, or extra weight. It was built to go fast and nothing else. It was also one of the best bargains of its time, costing around $3,000 brand new, making it one of the most accessible muscle cars ever built. And of course, it had something no other muscle car had, a cartoon tie-in. Plymouth licensed the Roadrunner character from Looney Tunes, complete with a beep-beep horn and fun branding that made it an instant classic. The Roadrunner wasn't just a muscle car, it was a movement. Hey, are you a Plymouth Roadrunner? Because you just blew past my expectations. 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, the modern-day monster. Muscle cars seem to be a thing of the past, until Dodge decided to break every rule in 2015 and introduced the Challenger SRT Hellcat, a car that redefined what a muscle car could be. Under the hood, The Hellcat packed a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi V8, cranking out an unbelievable 707 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. This wasn't just a muscle car, it was a supercar killer. With a 0 to 60 of time of just 3.6 seconds and a top speed of over 200 miles per hour, the Hellcat proved that raw American power was alive and well. But Dodge didn't stop there. The exhaust note was so loud that it could set off car alarms, and it came with a red key that unlocked its full power, making every drive an adrenaline-fueled experience. It was also one of the best bang-for-your-buck performance cars ever, delivering 700-plus horsepower for under $70,000. A steal compared to European sports cars with similar performance. The Hellcat was proof that muscle cars never died. They just evolved. And this modern monster stands as one of the greatest American cars ever built. If you hear one rumbling behind you, just move over. You won't win that race. There you have it, the 10 greatest muscle cars of all time. From the classic legends that started it all to modern-day monsters like the Hellcat, these cars are more than just machines. They're a part of American history, a symbol of freedom, rebellion, and pure, unfiltered horsepower. Which one is your favorite? Or do you think another muscle car deserves a spot on this list? Drop a comment and let's talk about the best American muscle ever built. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more high-octane content.